montage number 125 from Classic Hardcore Moments. I really enjoy these, so let's get started. I see we're in ZG here. Guzu here. Looks like we are reacting to Guzu's reaction video to someone else. They're on High Priest Phenoxus. Yeah, I don't really know why the tank got killed so quickly there. Maybe crushing blow, crit, bad luck. Maybe he wasn't geared so well. I didn't see any effects. I don't intimately know that fight, so I don't know why exactly. He just looks like he just got critted down. We didn't have his POV. Okay, so here we are in Blackrock Depths. This pull has 5 enemies in it, and it can spawn with, you know, regular dwarves or the fire elementals. You can have 0 fire elementals, you can have 1, you can have 2. I don't recall if you can have 3 or more. I think it might be capped. You can't have like 5. It's just was considered too difficult. So they have 2. It's pretty bad. That's why they have them marked as first and second kill. Skull's is always first, X is second. They should probably be polying one. The mage should just pick a moon icon and poly that. They have a cat. That bodes a little ill, but we'll see what happens. And the healer is a paladin, I think, because shield and mace. And they have devotion aura. Yeah, so they should have fire resist for this fight, probably. But, you know, protection pot, still, it would be good. Like, paying a gold to use a fire protection pot to turn this pack into a I'm definitely not going to die as the tank is definitely worth it if you're not confident. And I would like to see more people do it, but I don't know. We'll see. She at least had some at some point, it would appear. You can see the icon here in the lower right. Didn't even bother to charge in. Okay. What is wrong with this picture? Battle stance doesn't charge. Clicks berserker stance. So she's now tanking 6 in berserker. This makes no sense. Clicking defensive. Like, you know, you can get those hotkeyed, right? Like, there are ways to do this. I can't believe you wouldn't have that as a warrior. I think I used to have my stance changes on mouse wheel. Like, up was battle, down was berserk, click was defensive, and oh, that was nice for PvP. Man, you could, the satisfying feeling of charging someone, flicking into battle stance up on the wheel, charging someone, then, you know, maybe they blink away or do something, then you, bam, immediately wheel down and hit intercept. It was just great. I am looking forward to playing warrior in PvP again. So at least she got into defensive quickly. Maybe she had a good reason for swapping in. It's been a little while since I played a warrior. You know, I guess it's the rage ability. Yeah, so the cat was just getting destroyed. I don't know why the cat had so much aggro. Cat has to go bear. They're doing okay, though, but okay, so this needed to be slowed. Okay, the mage frostbolt it, or the warrior hamstring it, or just the bear could have done anything. Okay, so this one's running too. This is really bad. There it goes. There it goes. And now everything. Okay. At this point, right here, somebody says, oh, the runners. Okay. So there is still time to get away before the inevitable happens. Because our hero here has target dummies. A target dummy thrown down right here, and then everybody runs. When it dies, maybe a grenade to buy them an extra second or two. If they were all quite good, they might make it out. Of course, from what I'm seeing here, they are not all quite good. This mage is bad. This tank is questionable. And we have a feral. So that's questionable by default. Actually, the only person who's not to blame here so far would be the healer. Although we still don't have fire resist aura. And honestly, I'm not exactly impressed with that healer. But I'm not willing to put any blame there. That was just the runners. Yeah, that was on the mage and the tank to a lesser extent, and the feral. It wasn't just unlucky. You have many, many abilities to slow enemies. And you also cannot immediately tab off an enemy when it's low life. Okay? It is important to finish runners. Extremely important. That was a group fail. We are in Scholomance. This is the lore keeper. They have pulled it into the room, the viewing room. These students do not aggro you, but there is a quest you have to, well, you don't have to do. There's an optional quest in here that almost nobody does because you don't really get much from it, where you have to, I think, put down a machine and collect something, or you summon a monster in here. I don't, it's, again, everybody always skips it, so it's been a while. But this is a little bit like the bar in Blackrock Depths, where you will not be in any danger as long as you don't aggro any of these monsters. But if you aggro one, if anybody in their party hits the wrong button, a demo shout, consecrate, whatever, then they will all go aggro. And see Vectus right here. I think Vectus is involved in the quest that I mentioned, and he will not attack you normally. You can just run through here, but they have pulled an enemy here. This is fine so far. They can kill him, nothing will happen, but there wouldn't be a clip here if that's how it was going to end. Okay, so the Mage Cone of Cold did it. Right there. He forgot, he hit Vectus. They all attack him. The Hunter gets out of town. Yeah, so he gets out of here to break line of sight, because you cannot get a Feign Death resist if you break line of sight or there's a certain distance. So that was smart. They shouldn't be two-manning in here in the first place, but, you know, Hunter didn't do anything wrong there. Okay, so this is tagged with a star for a reason. It sees stealth. Somebody knew that and tagged it. This rogue still goes right up to the edge, right into it, and now he pulls it. So this is where things are going to start going badly for this group, because these are going to pull. There's at least 3 ogres here, maybe some more dogs, another ogre back there. Oh, it was 4 ogres. So, the rogue vanishes. You can tell because they all return. Let's see, let's slowly watch what's happening here. We're going to have to move the speed down, I think. So everything seems to be happening. Well, I guess we could let's just watch it. And then we'll go back. Wow, that looks pretty dumb. The paladin just ran up there into aggro, it seems like. They pull another group here. They're just running for the door. Paladin is bubbled. Mage is dead. Hunter feigns, but immediately gets back up. Rogue is dead. Looks like the hunter got back up to a loon hearth. He didn't have a macro for his loon hearth, so it failed because of the timing. So everybody but the paladin and possibly the warrior died. Okay, I will say it looks kind of bad for the paladin, but let's look closely at what's happened. And okay, we're at 50% speed. Let's find where the rogue vanishes, because at this point, the paladin is back and to the left. He sees the hunter, who also happens to be a guild master. I'm not sure if they're in the same guild. Hunter moves up. Paladin kind of sees another player moving up, and he's thinking like a healer, right? So he sees this rogue taking damage, and he sees aggro, and he thinks, I need to get in line of sight to heal. Because that's how you think in hardcore. You don't think, oh, one party member made a stupid pull, I'm going to let that person die. You just think, I have to do whatever is required right now to not let anyone die in the next 10 seconds. And if that means it creates other problems in 30 seconds or a minute, you usually aren't thinking ahead that far. You are just trying to keep someone alive. So the hopefully not aptly named buff robot here is moving up to get line of sight to heal the rogue. That is understandable. I don't know if we should expect our healer to anticipate vanish, right? I see a lot of problems with expecting healers to anticipate vanish in all situations, but this is an excellent situation for vanish, right? So I really don't know. Paladin is moving up. Okay, here I think rogue vanishes because the dogs move back. The ogre hasn't turned back yet. So at 242, it looks like we have the vanish. Yep, now the ogre's turned back. We're still 242. Paladin is still moving forward. It just turns over to 243, and the paladin already has aggro. So let's do that again from 241. Right at 242, we have the vanish. Yeah, almost exactly at 242. When it ticks to 242, we have vanish. Paladin doesn't really get to see the dogs moving back so well. The ogres don't turn back until halfway through 242. The instant they get to their spot, which is only a few steps away, they aggro on her at almost exactly 243, it looks like. It's like exactly 243. So there is almost exactly 1 second of reaction time during which the paladin could have backed up. And gosh, when you're trying to panic heal someone who's moved out of your line of sight, that's not a lot of reaction time. I mean, this isn't like an FPS here, right? A second to analyze the state of the aggro of the enemies and backing up. It's tight. So, oof, it's hard. It was completely the rogue's fault that this pull started. But now the paladin is in a really tough spot. She's committed now. She has to run forward because she has aggro. Her only hope is to get up the ramp and out the zone, right? The zone is up here. You can escape out that way. This guy launches a frostbolt, which will slow and probably kill most players, right? Paladin gets hit, and wow, that is a fast bubble. She bubbles off the frostbolt at 10% health. And she's got 10 seconds to get out the door. But our ogre friends have changed their targets now because they go after anyone but the bubbled paladin, you know, for 10 seconds. So that's bad news for everyone else. But, I mean, look, when this frostbolt hits, if this paladin doesn't bubble, she's dead for sure. And if she dies in probably one more hit. And then those monsters immediately go for the other group members anyway. So bubbling here doesn't even do anything for, you know, bad for the group. What should have happened here is our guildmaster should have thrown down target dummy. Don't know how much it would have got him, but it would have been something. So the paladin's committed. She has to run. At this point, everyone else has to defend themselves up the ramp. The mage could have blinked or frost nova'd. I think the mage frost nova'd down there, so it was probably on cooldown. I never saw an ice block. So the mage dies. He's hitting Feign Death right now. And very stupid. Instead of staying in Feign Death, where he would have been safe, he immediately pops up to try to Hearthstone and Light of a Loon. Let's see how he does that. Does he click it? Where is it? There's the Light of a Loon. Okay, the Light of a Loon isn't even hotkeyed. And it's not a macro. So yeah, he just... How does he do this? I'm not... It's not a macro, but I don't see him click it. And I don't see a hotkey. Yeah, in the end, this is the first tough one. To dole out blame. I have to say it's 75% the rogue's fault for creating the situation in the first place, and 25% the paladin's fault for aggroing the monsters that were resetting after the vanish. I'm not fully comfortable with that split, but it's hard for me after looking at it almost, you know, second by second like that. The paladin was given under a second to react when you take into account latency and input lag, and that's just a lot to expect from a person who's trying to heal someone who's getting attacked, who's out of line of sight, right? So giving more than that share of blame to the paladin, I feel, ignores the fact that the situation never would have happened if the rogue hadn't really stupidly, and it was really stupid, aggroed that dog by going around the corner. The dog was even marked. Should have never happened. So that's unfortunate, but sometimes that is just what happens, you know. Okay, wow. 2 Moonkin. I don't even think I've seen 1 Moonkin on the screen in my time doing a level 60 and a level 50 on hardcore. I've never seen anybody playing a Moonkin. Never seen one in town. Maybe I've not paid close enough attention, but seeing 2 on the screen is quite rare. They're just not good, you know, and I mean, obviously I'd played a lot of Ret Paladin, but, you know, in 5-mans, there's pretty decent use for a Ret Paladin if it's played as a support, but Moonkin are not good in raids. They run out of mana. They don't do great damage, really, even when they do have mana. some of their advantages, like the high armor, are not really of any use in a raid. Maybe they'll need that armor here. Let's see. Also, this guy's level 46. I think this one is level 49. This is not good, because this is a level 48 right here, dwarf. So, you don't want to be 2 levels below, especially as a caster. You're just going to get too many resists. This is Searing Gorge. This quest is hard. This guy's strong. They don't have Shadow Protection Potion, and this guy, he hits hard with Shadow Bolt. Not using a Shadow... If you're going to be stupid and do this at level 46, you have to have a Shadow Protection Potion. It's just... You use it a minute before you go in, so it doesn't even use up your cooldown. This is just dumb. This is not going to end well for at least one of them. Let's see. Okay, so hero aggro's both of the normal guys with Starfires. They appear to be splitting them up. The other guy is taking the higher level, and he's killing the 2 small guys. But for some reason, this isn't happening. Oh, oh, that's good. So, at this point, when you see him come around that corner, it's done. It's done time. You fall off the ledge, hopefully not landing on other mobs, but you are screwed if you don't get out. Now, what I was laughing at, I want to change it to 50% speed. Let's turn our eyes to the lower left corner, because our hero is about to get a big hint that it's time to get out. Oh, look at that. It's his friend in cat form, triggering sprint right here and bolting with other mobs he's aggroed. That's not good. He waits too long to get off. He could have fallen off here with more than half of his life, been okay in the fall, and had a chance even if he landed on a pat. Instead, he decides to stop here and think, which is precious moments he didn't have. This guy casting a Shadow Bolt, he does not line of sight it, and ouch. How much did that hit him for? He was at 935. So it looks like it was about 500. Now he's in danger of dying from the fall, even if he walks off. Now he will definitely die from the fall. That was actually pretty good. That was pretty slick. He managed to rejuvenate himself, and then in midair swap to cat form, which is what prevented him from dying from falling damage, because I believe cat has reduced falling damage. So that was pretty slick. I like that. Unfortunately, he still was only a few hits away from death. It was well deserved, unfortunately. It was well deserved because he shouldn't have been there in the first place. Dumb mistake. That's quite a name here for our hardcore friend. Where is he? Ashenvale. Looks like he's about to make a dumb mistake right here. Not much to say about that. SWT. I think I've played with this person. They are in the arena in BRD. So this is for the Rogue Dungeon 0.5 quest, and I think maybe some other quests too. You can plant a banner for this quest in the Ring of Law, which normally summons one of a few different boss groups, one of which is frequently farmed for the Savage Gladiator chain. But if you put the banner down from this quest, you get this 5 enemy group that is very much like playing an arena match or like a PvP thing, right? So it'll be like a group of a warrior, a priest, a rogue, etc. There's a bunch of different classes that you can get as the enemies. They're all named, right? Like Gorosh, the Dervish, whatever. But one of them, I believe it's the rogue, has a debuff that is like ripped right out of Kill Bill, basically. And if it hits you with it and you walk 5 steps or more, you just instantly die. Like you once you get it, you can't move. So it's people die to it who don't pay attention. Wow. Okay. It seems like this person, this is just a warrior tanking. I guess I won't be playing with them again. Damn, that does happen fast. 640. Let's see. Did the paladin actually spam? This is the paladin. Yeah. The paladin did spam. I don't know if it was the max rank. So, either the paladin's undergeared, or the warrior's stupid for not wearing a shield. Like, I haven't done enough tanking as a warrior in hardcore to know for sure. I wouldn't tank without a shield on a boss. There's just no point to taking that extra risk unless you're desperate for the threat, right? And I don't think they were desperate for threat there. You can at least switch to it if you're getting clapped, man. Like, people do not keep a shield switch macro for some reason. I don't understand why so many warriors refuse to take the extra, like, significant damage reduction. It can be more than switching to defensive stance for sure. You get a good shield. We're in a Silithid cave. Not a good place to be normally. These are almost all death traps for hardcore. Go in a group or not at all. Simple as that. Gaping Chasm. Okay, so this is the one in Tanaris, I think. And this person is just trying to run. This person is fucked. There's just no way. No first aid. I mean, yeah, this is why you don't go into these places, because they are deep and there will always be respawns before you get out. Oh, if he didn't know how to dodge that one, he might have made it. He almost got there, but soloing as a mage inside those tunnels, not a good idea. Yeah, okay, so We already learned our lesson earlier about the dogs, right? Look what he just immediately tries to. Look, it's not a bad attempt, I guess. The correct move here was probably to immediately sprint and go back the other direction. Yeah, so too late now. This urge to solo and sneak around in Dire Maul and other high level instances when there are better options available, like not doing that. Just turn in your quest the next time that you have a group. Stonewatch Keep. Okay, so this is the elite keep in Red Ridge Mountains where things like very suddenly get very real. Up to this point, everything has been pretty much super easy, and all of a sudden, there's a ton of fleeing orcs that are all elite. They have netting attacks, and this is a tough place. You want to be careful when you're here and make sure you have a solid group. Their healer got banished. Their healer. I can't tell for sure. Oh, it looks like there's a priest and a druid. Oh, that's the druid, obviously, the cat. So their healer is a priest, and it's banished, but they still have a druid. This is an all night elf group, except for this guy who's the warrior. So look, there's other healers. Now, somebody else should have look. Okay, this night elf's a hunter. This night elf's a hunter. So this is the fault of the feral, right? This is why Ret paladins and to a lesser extent ferals can be a good support spec. This guy is demonstrating how you fail at doing that. So right here, the tank is at less than half, and our cat is still sitting in cat form right here, backstabbing stuff. Let's see. At this point, he should be coming out of cat form and pre-casting a healing touch with the intent to cancel if the healer, heals the warrior. Alternatively, coming out and immediately casting regrowth and just not canceling it at all. Right? Even a rejuvenation, anything. Um, the feral, when you play a support spec like feral or ret, you also need to be more aware of your surroundings, much more than other DPS. As soon as the healer was banished, the feral should have noticed and become the healer. This happens to me, I don't want to say frequently, but regularly on my ret paladin, where something happens to the healer, they're silenced, or they're stunned, or they're banished, and we need a healer right now. And even if I got silenced at the same time by like a bat screech or something, I can immediately bubble, clear the silence. I think I can bubble when I'm silenced. Actually, I don't know. It's been a while, but regardless, the point is I will become a healer immediately and chain heal, and I will always keep mana in reserve for that purpose. I will never DPS past, I don't know, 40% mana roughly, unless I have a good reason. So Usain could have been Usain the goat, but instead he is not the goat at all. This is cool. This is a little horde event in Sulfuroc. You wait here while all the enemies climb the pyramid. Sometimes people aggro too many of them. interesting George W. Bush AI photo down here. Okay, the priest has gotten a lot of aggro. I really don't like this guy's interface. It seems like nobody did anything to help him. This looks like it's on the tank. There's a lot going on here. They pulled too many. Looks like the tank's fault. So whoever this guy is, he's obsessed enough with Asmongold to name a character Asmund Baldy, which he no doubt ran around in Stormwind when Asmund was doing some stream just to try to irritate him with the name. So, yeah, I'm sure this guy has a full and rich social life and a real good sense of humor. Now, what is going to happen to him the moment he... Oh. Oh, well, that's not good. Look, guys, we've all done it, right? We've logged out in a mildly say unsafe area, at least. We all know we shouldn't, but we sometimes take that risk. But logging out in a zone with roaming 60 plus boss skull mobs that can almost one-shot you, and effectively you're dead if you catch aggro, right? This is a terrible idea. Your character and your time are worth more than this. I do feel bad for this guy. Didn't really deserve this. He made an error of logging out, and it's one of those errors that 99% of the time does nothing. But the 1% of the time that something does happen, the penalty is very, very harsh. So, like, this guy does not deserve to have to re-roll. I do feel bad for Abby. Sorry, bud. I feel bad about the Asmongold joke now. But, that's rough. Guys, log out in an inn. Get the rested experience. If you're level 60, don't take this risk. It's totally not worth it. Okay, there's a lot going on here. We got a... Is that Minish Cap Zelda? I'm not sure. It's been a while. It looks too good to be the Game Boy ones. But not good enough to be the DS ones. So maybe Minish Cap, Game Boy Advance. He's on his own here. No, he's... Oh, I hate these weird interfaces. I'm sorry, it's just a little too much with the frames, man. 3-person group at least. And I think they might be in Nomergon. I can't quite tell where they are. It's been so long since I've been to Nomer. I missed it on my hardcore run. I didn't have a group for it, and I wasn't going to pug that one. Oh, this is a classic. People standing in the rocks, looking at the loot. Yeah, the rocks kill you. Don't stand in the rocks. Do not stand in the Nomergon cave slide. Okay, Dark Mists. These are in Dustwallow Swamp, I think. And this guy is... He could easily kill these one at a time, and that would be the most efficient thing to do. But it looks like he's not satisfied with that. He's going to kill them at least 3 at a time. I'm not seeing any sweeping strikes. There's Whirlwind. Okay, he is hitting Whirlwind. No sweeping strikes. I don't see sweeping strike. Oh, is that it? Okay. He probably used it at the start. See, this is why you don't pull 2 or 3 or 4. I do want to go back and see if he used sweeping strike. Yeah, okay, he did. Yeah. This is why you don't pull 3 or 4 guys. I know it's more efficient, and gosh, I know it's more fun. It's way more fun to sweeping strikes and whirlwind and cleave and have all this rage that you can do all those things and still be like executing or mortal striking runners. But he has turned what would have been an easy experience farm, where he would have had a lot of rage after the first one or two. He could have just kept going one by one, keeping his rage high. He's now turned that into a desperate fight for his life. So he's netted. So he can't run. He can't use his really sticky glue to remove one enemy. He's got 17 seconds cooldown on his target dummy, which under normal circumstances wouldn't be too bad. But in this situation, 17 seconds will quite literally probably be a lifetime. He's got a 32-second potion cooldown because he used some potion 28 seconds ago. Early on in this fight, perhaps? I think he probably... Nope. That's another big mistake. Look at that. He just runs up. He's got potion cooldown and dummy cooldown. And he just charges in without any plan for what happens if he needs a dummy or a potion. And I know why. Like, that these are just regular mobs. You're a high-level warrior. I get it. But this is bad hardcore play. This is why people die in hardcore. And it's why I'm, been very successful at hardcore. Because I will play very boring and kill one enemy at a time in a very safe fashion. So, let's see. We're back. This is now a fight for his life, and we have a long time on his cooldowns. He kills one, and then one respawns. That's bad luck. Not exactly luck, because he was probably the guy... He killed it, so he knows when it's going to respawn. He's targeting the wrong one. He needs to target this one. Yes, it would die to Whirlwind. I get that it would also die, but he might save himself a hit or two. He needs to target the lowest one and kill it. He doesn't have time to AoE stuff down in the most efficient fashion in terms of time. It needs to be the most efficient fashion in terms of damage taken. And for that, he needs to reduce the targets hitting him. So now he stays on this one until it's dead. Sometimes that means you have to use rage on something like Mortal Strike instead of a Whirlwind. It's just how it goes. It sure would be nice. If he had a potion or a dummy right now, then he would win no problem. Again, he used all his rage on another AoE. Cleave. He's smashing cleave. Look, I get that you want to AoE, but if you don't kill one of these targets real quick, you're done, man. 116 on Intimidating Shout, because he charged into battle without that as well. So he wasted on his rage on cleave and didn't have enough to use whirlwind on cooldown. Like, that is another mistake. This guy might be dead if he hadn't screwed that up. Warriors generally know better than to waste on cleave when whirlwind is about to come up. So, wow, 1 second. His dummy comes off cooldown when he's at 92 hit points. I think they played the Among Us sound effect there. Yeah, so I don't even see first aid on his bars. There it is. He should have first aided as soon as he put down the dummy and was out of range of being interrupted. He could have refilled half of his health. Wow, he got so lucky that he didn't get hit or netted, and that he could have just first aided, even a couple of ticks of first aid. That was definitely poorly played, but hey, he got away with it. So that was a good vid, and looking forward to the next one.